Sponsored by the Mike Morris Law Firm. 855 Mike wins. Jason Carr Live starts now.
Hey, what's going on? Good to see you here on a Monday, live from the Local 4 Inner Sanctum on West Lafayette in downtown Detroit, the Paris of the Midwest, the Motor City, Motown, the D. What's going on? Hi, John. How are you?
Doing well. How are you, Jason?
I'm doing swell. I'm better than fair to Midland. When was the last time you heard that one?
That's the first time.
You've never heard the expression fair to Midland?
No. What does it mean?
American Airlines is investigating an incident involving a verbal confrontation between a flight attendant and passenger who was upset about the way another passenger was treated. You see here the woman with barely make out. Okay. The spokeswoman for American Airlines says the incident happened Friday on a flight from San Fran to Dallas. A witness said before boarding the plane, a male flight attendant was violently yanking the stroller away from a mom, nearly hitting the baby in the head. He was told, or she was told, the flight attendant basically was asked, "Hey, what are you doing?" And the flight attendant allegedly said, "Just stay out of it." Witness says the woman was visibly shaken and decided to tell the pilot what she witnessed. The flight attendant has been suspended.
Hey, bud. You do that to me and I'll knock you flat.
You stay out of that.
See the baby. The woman's visibly shaken.
And I actually have another video from, I guess this one was from the other side of the aisle. But you know what I'd like to see is that people didn't just stand by idly and let it happen like what happened on United Airlines.
Right.
These people got involved and took a stand, I guess.
So now we have a raft of incidents aided by the camera phones and social media that did not exist back in summer of 2001 when Time Magazine, I don't know if you can zoom in on this, John, but remember Summer of the Shark? This is pre-9/11. Internet is still brand new. Social media is still a distant vision in Mark Zuckerberg's future. It was such an innocent time back then. You could have a burst of a number of similar events happen at the same time, and it would become the cover of Time Magazine. And I remember, I think that they took some heat for this, like, oh, come on, you're sensationalizing a bunch of unrelated incidents. But we are amid the summer, or I guess more accurately, the spring of the airline confrontation. Now, whether that makes the cover of Time Magazine next week, we'll have to wait and see. The summer of 2001, you were like
2001.
13? 12,
Yeah, that
13?
sounds right. Yeah.
I cannot explain to you, as somebody who was 12, 13 years old in the magical Spielbergian early 80s, just how much innocence we lost in 2001. Because it felt, I mean, the economy was booming, the housing, or the crisis hadn't yet hit, we hadn't had 9/11 yet, the internet was new, brand new, seemed like everything was possible in summer of 2001.
And nothing was destroyed in Y2K like everyone thought.
Oh, it was, I was 30 years old, single, living the bachelor life, golfing 3 times a week, not a care in the world.
Those were the days.
Those were the days, right, sure. A volunteer fire, do you ever notice how often when something like this happens, not this, but the child falling from the bus, that the first person there is either a doctor or a nurse or a firefighter or a cop off duty? It's really strange.
Well, and
that is
a
a child that just fell out of that bus.
A lot of times I think it's that these EMTs and volunteer firefighters know how important it is to have a dash cam camera in their car so that you can catch stuff like this. But it's, yeah, we'll go back and play it again because you can
play it again.
See.
Ryan is his name, the EMT, volunteer firefighter, Crawford County, Arkansas. The girl falls from the back of the bus. The bus driver, completely oblivious, drives on. Ryan said that the girl was unconscious at first but started to wake up as he approached her. He says normally he wouldn't move somebody in this instance, but in this case, he was worried about her being on the hot pavement and being in the middle of the road. She has a broken jaw and will need surgery, but is expected to make a full recovery. Took the bus driver 15 minutes to come back.
Realize that he was missing
That means
someone.
7.5 minutes one way and 7.5 minutes. You have 7.5 minutes down the road. If you're doing 60 miles an hour, that's like 7 miles away. A little over 7 miles away, and then to make the turnaround and come back. Not indicting the bus driver. We don't know the circumstances of how many kids were on the bus. What the circumstance was, there a chaperone? We don't know anything. All we know is that it took the bus driver 15 minutes to return to the scene. So we don't even know what kind of bus it was, do we? So there's a Batman-themed pregnancy announcement we need to tell you about.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Ready?
have that? I know that's a handsome fellow right there, but not as good as the Batman pregnancy announcement. By the way, you can go to my page at Jason Carr TV for the bowl of bacon today. 64,000 plus surveyed, top 5 answers on the board. You got it?
Almost.
Almost. I'll just leave you with that.
There it is. Okay.
Was it the computer?
Yes. And I wanted to have some music here, which, there it is.
Can you take it full? Yeah. Can you dig it? I knew that you could.
And there's actually 4 photos, so they did a couple of them. This one's,
It's a pretty convincing
costume.
cosplay.
Yeah, I mean, some really professional stuff there.
Man, I love that music, and I love that show when I was a kid. When it was on reruns, remember? I think it was 50. I was going to say Channel 20, but I think it was Channel 50 that had it on at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the mid-70s, like 1975-ish, when it was in reruns after, sweeping the nation between 1966 and 1969, I think it was, and then falling just as fast off the radar, only to resurface and have a whole new generation discover it.
You said it was on Channel 50? I thought it was on same bat time, same bat channel, right?
Yeah. Courtesy laugh on that one. Let's go to the Photoshop battle. Squirrel trying to catch a nut. Here's squirrel falling peanut.
Mm-hmm. And
so that squirrel has been... Oh, how about that? Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, little Caddyshack there.
Mm-hmm.
There you go for Javarmint.
Jurassic Park.
Chris Pratt's Jurassic Park Velociraptor Whisperer.
And then this one's the best one.
Oh, boy. Sloan, dear, come along now. Oh, boy, did I have it bad for Sloan.
Yeah?
That movie came out when it came out in 86, and I didn't get my driver's license until October of 86. So I was still on my learner's permit.
Shopping
and you're
for
going
a
to show
Ferrari.
me this Ferrari, and Cameron's wearing a Red Wings jersey. She's smoking hot for, 15-year-old boy is like, oh my gosh, I want to be Ferris Bueller, and I want her as my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Cameron seemed like a real, he had issues, but...
Did you ever take the day off, too? You ever do that?
No, I had
year?
4 years perfect attendance in high school. That was another reason why I was fascinated by this movie. I wanted nothing to do with the Breakfast Club. I thought that they were all a bunch of whiny navel gazers. I wanted to be Ferris Bueller. And to anybody that says that they like both of these movies equally, Ferris Bueller and Breakfast Club, I call balderdash upon you.
This is
Have
a
you
way
seen
better
them both?
movie. Oh, yeah. This is a way better film.
Than Breakfast Club, right?
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't Breakfast Club seem really whiny, 80s, angsty? You know, this is kind of timeless.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm indicting my own generation. Bueller. Hey, do you want to see video of a ship running into a coastal wall for no reason whatsoever? This is a ferry. According to information released by the company, the captain lost control of the ship within minutes of leaving the port due to a widespread failure in the electrical system.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess just decided to bring it back towards the harbor, and someone moved this wall in the way.
Anyway, we thought we'd dig this one up and bring it into port for your viewing pleasure. That's what happens when a ferry hits the wall.
Mm-hmm. No, there was a lot of damage to the wall, obviously, but apparently no structural damage to the boat itself. The bow was kind of crushed in, but the boat is still in
Panda
working order.
Watch.
Panda Watch. All right.
One of my favorite scenes in Anchorman. A pair of giant panda twins made their public debut at China's Shanghai Wildlife Park on Saturday. Do anything for you?
Oh, yeah.
The older brother was taking on the name Yi Yi, or Yu Yu, while his little sister has been named Ban Ban, or Bon Bon. Visitors flocked to the wildlife park to get a peek at the adorable furry friends. You know what I just realized? We need some bacon buttermilk pancake English muffins is what we need.
Is that what we need?
Bacon buttermilk pancake English muffins. Limited edition, 6 weeks only. And that is the Thomas Nooks and Crannies English muffins. Oh, I forgot all about the Nooks and Crannies.
I mean, I'm interested in trying them. I don't know. What do you think these are going to be like?
Oh boy. We have somebody not necessarily defending the flight attendant, that male flight attendant that was suspended, but Joan wants to know, why does the woman on American Airlines think she's so special that she can bring a stroller on the plane? I have flown many times and seen parents ride their child in the stroller up to the plane. The stroller is taken and returned upon landing. Narcissist woman who started the whole thing.
I mean, that's
what Joan says, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, there might be a little speculation in how this woman was behaving before this incident, but you know, when there's a baby in a stroller, you can't just start throwing strollers around.
Right. Are you kidding me? If a flight attendant had jerked a stroller or anywhere near my daughter, I would have been this guy.
Well, and you can see the way he starts treating this gentleman who steps in afterwards. It just kind of makes you wonder what the scenario was beforehand and how angst up he was. Really scary stuff. I mean, you buy a seat on a flight and you're at the mercy and will of people like this man, who's...
This guy's getting right in there. He's like going nose to nose. He's like, they're like real close to fisticuffs right there.
Yeah.
Real close. How about that flight attendant that popped open a beer and did the emergency shoot? Remember him?
No.
You don't remember that?
No. Okay, the emergency. Yeah, pulled the hatch and just
pulled the hatch and the slide went down and he popped the beer open and said, "I'm out of here."
Hey, so I grabbed this. I didn't put it in the rundown.
What's that?
The tire. Wait, maybe I don't have it.
Oh, you did grab the tire.
Did
you get all the way to the very end?
Oh, I've seen that before. That's a...
We did some
video's been around a little while.
Yeah, we've unearthed some internet classics.
Okay.
But you don't have it.
Nope, I have it. I have it right here.
We found this on boingboing.net.
It's so strange, but I'll tell you what, it's kind of mesmerizing. You keep
That's
watching
what they said on boingboing.net. They said that you know, for what it is, a tire going down a ski jump and not a brand new video at that, but oddly mesmerizing and satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
And when they let the big bulldozer tire go down, well, not bulldozer, that would be a track, but the big earth-moving tire, and it just destroys everything at the bottom. It's awesome.
I'll tell you what, I think this is Japanese, and they are just light years ahead of us as far as television shows go.
Oh, are you kidding?
Some of the most incredible things.
Do you know what TV show that I was fascinated by for a while? I never missed it. My friends and I got addicted to it. Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, like the obstacle course where people get like thrown this way and that.
Yeah.
And they fall in mud pits and whatnot. And then the funny guys commentating with oh God, that was the funniest. I mean, ABC later had a show called Wipeout, basically based on it. But the original Most Extreme Elimination Challenge with the goofy translation, somebody bought the American rights to it and then like translated it from the original Japanese narration. And so it all ended up very "What's Up, Tiger Lily," where they would run out and they'd say ridiculous stuff before they would compete. Have you ever seen the show?
Oh yeah. I mean, they've got so many weird television shows, and a lot of them will carry over into the U.S. Years later. I hope this one takes off. This is from 6 years ago, 5 years ago, but
Never gets old.
I would still watch new episodes of this. Just rolling things down the
Gosh,
hill.
when those contestants on Most Extreme Elimination Challenge would run out from behind the scenes and it would go like this, and I love cheesecake.
Yeah.
They would just have them say nonsensical things in the American translation. It was hysterical. KC says MXEC ruled. Tammy watched it. It was hilarious. Buffy O'Keefe says just because someone's in a position of authority doesn't mean they should bully people over the smallest things. It's just a stroller. Good morning, Scott and Harper Woods. Once again, if you want to play top 5 answers on the board, name something. I'm not going to tell you. You have to go to my page, at Jason Carr TV. It's the bowl of bacon today. We're doing it game show style. A little Richard Dawson for you. Richard Dawson was the coolest.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, no idea what you're talking about, but yeah.
Well, I mean, we got tires flying through the air.
This is the Formula One tire, right? Or that was.
It's been a while since I watched this. I don't remember which tire wins.
Oh, it was the first one?
Was it?
Just the small little single tire from the economy? Mm-hmm. But the big tire from the Earth Mover, just crushes. Good morning, Mamie from Pinckney. Hello, Karen Drew. The stylish Karen Drew sauntering. She sort of saunters. She's got this catwalk saunter that she does. She walks in. Am I right?
You're right.
It is a saunter. It's some people just look like they're walking downhill effortlessly. Karen Drew is one of those people. Some
Now
people have a
Formula One
weird
tire,
side-to-side gait. Okay, here's the F1 tire. Yeah, the Goodyear Eagle. Let's see. And right over. I would love to drive an F1. Like a Formula One car. Wouldn't that be cool?
I mean, NASCAR doesn't interest me, but Formula One.
Carol's checking in from Trenton. Charday says Richard Dawson Charday says that Richard Dawson and Steve Harvey are my favorite hosts. Tammy is easily amused. If you're watching this, then that's probably self-evident. This is the big tire.
This is the big one.
This is the big one. Watch what happens at the bottom. This surprised me. They flip it back.
Yep.
They do a recap real quick.
And it's so dramatic. The music in the background and everything.
Here it comes. Wow!
Just destroys the jump.
I cannot believe it. And then keeps going. Destroys the end of the jump. Right there. Right there. And then it continues rolling and rolling, sports fans. Over that barricade, through that barricade, and then two guys with a mattress. Amazing. Antoinette, how are you? Hey, Andrea, good to see you're back. I love all the returning people. We've got a little Bacon Nation going here on the 9:15-ish. Jim Felton says Richard Dawson was smooth. He was in those three-piece suits. You know, just sort of that cockiness, kind of. I love when he's on Match Game on reruns and he holds on the introductions. He goes like this because he was in a contract dispute with Mark Goodson and Bill Todman about being on Feud at the same time as Match Game.
Okay.
And so that was him basically giving the producers the business.
Now take a look at this. I've got some pregnant cats. You know, we need to fill the gap now that the April cam came down on Friday.
Wait, what? Tell me what's going on here. What's going top left?
4 different views. That's got to be that's going to be a cat in the top left.
Hey, Steve, good old Davison, Michigan, the Davison Cardinals.
Yeah. Davison Cardinals.
Davison Cardinals High School. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Brown City's watching. Lincoln Park, Dearborn. Dell says, good host, but too much kissing people on the mouth for me. Karen from Alton, Illinois, disagreeing, saying Richard Dawson not so great. Good morning, Paul. How you doing, John?
Doing well.
I love this. Oh my gosh, Molly. The unsinkable Molly Felsing says, LOL, I feel weird being a Minnesotan watching news from another state. Molly, how did you become aware of this little weird thing at 9:15 we do every Monday through Friday here on the Local 4 page? How did you come to be a viewer of the 9:15-ish Jason Carr Live?
It was probably the Will Ferrell pregnant cat cam.
Probably the giraffe cam or the feral cats, one of the two. I've got about 15 minutes here before I have to go do a tease on Live in the D, our talk show here in Detroit that airs at 10 o'clock on Local 4. So every day at about 5 to the top of the hour, we have to wrap this up, and I go put a different microphone on and go out into an actual television studio rather than from our digital set here. I am eagerly awaiting, not anxiously, eagerly. There's a difference between those two words. Eagerly awaiting the reply of the unsinkable Molly Felsing of Minnesota. Do they really say Minnesota? Yeah, you betcha. Try the fricassee, Margie.
Now, Shannon Knight was asking about the bus that dumped the 4-year-old. That was in Arkansas. As far as where the parents were and what kind of bus that was.
How would you pronounce my name? Amadeo Chavez. Or Chavez, I suppose. Amadeo Chavez. Molly says, no idea, LOL, I find weird stuff. Let's grill Molly about Minnesota, shall we?
Yeah.
We've got some time.
Okay. What's happening in Minnesota
Let's
today?
watch our live viewers like tank as we make the... There used to be a saying in radio, it was radio for one. That's when a jock would go off on some tangent that he assumed everybody would find fascinating and nobody did. So you're doing radio for one. We're going to do 9:15-ish for one for a second here. Tell us something about Minnesota, Molly. It's starting with where you're watching from and...
What happened over the weekend?
Yeah, what'd you do with your weekend? Mm-hmm. How did you spend the weekend there in Minnesota? Here in Michigan, I did like an epic amount of backyard prep, yard work, weed pulling.
It's a good weekend for it.
I pulled literally, I'm not kidding, like 300 weeds, dandelions. Mm-hmm. We have this area next to our patio that it's sort of, I've let it go over time. It used to be a dog run, and then it was a garden, or it was a garden, and then it was a dog run, but years before we had the house. And it's just a curious mix of grass, moss, weeds, and growth. And I'm looking at all these dandelions. I'm like, not another summer. No. Mm-hmm. Got out the serrated hand shovel, and just started going to town. The next thing I knew, I filled up a kitchen garbage bag filled
full of weeds.
with just dandelions. That was TV for one, or actually for two. Where is Molly? Come on, Molly, where are you? What's she saying? Are you monitoring for her replies?
I'm looking.
She's being shy. She might not even be here.
Yeah, she may have already left, or maybe she's just typing out a really long response.
Well, I suppose that's possible, too. Maybe we should talk to Matt Stevens from Dallas, Texas. Why aren't you watching... What are the stations down there? KDAL or KFSW or...
I'm sure I follow them.
Oh, Molly Felsing is on the bus going home from working overnight in Minneapolis. I spent it at the first birthday. I spent it at a first birthday. My friend's little girl turned 1. So she works overnights in Minneapolis. She's on the bus on her way home. I told you, she's unsinkable. Mm-hmm. What is public transport like in Minneapolis? Here in Detroit, we're getting ready to unveil what's called the Q line. They have reinstalled basically streetcars that commingles with traffic. And we have a really neat monorail.
And do you know who's doing the voice for the Q line?
Carmen Harlan.
Carmen Harlan. How cool is that?
Matt watches WFAA.
WFAA. I think DFW is the NBC station out there.
Okay, so Matt, if you watch FAA, how did you come to find us, a Detroit Facebook live stream, whatever you want to call it, Digicast? What did somebody call us the other day? Netcast.
Netcast. Which is different from casting a net.
Jeffrey says Molly might be swimming in Lake Wobegon. When's the last time you heard from Garrison Keillor? Is he still doing that show?
Matt Stevens says there's great transport in Dallas.
Pat says Q-Line, big waste of money. Matt says you appeared after the giraffe cast.
Yep, that makes sense.
Oh, wait. We have cat. Hey, turn around. We don't want to see that. Cat cam. I did yard work and weeded my flower beds, says Jessica Latta. Hey, did Amadeo ever say that I said his name correctly?
I don't think I saw that in there.
Oh, there he is. The people moved
Yep.
is all good. I think he means people mover. Yes, Wobegon is totally real. You betcha. Molly's got a sense of humor. You betcha. Transportation is loads of fun, overcrowded. Is loads of fun, crowded. So, how do you think that Andrea Kosiara, or is it Andrea Kosiara? You said it perfectly. Impressive, says. Impressive. Most impressive. Kelly Pasco says, good morning, handsome. Oh, thank you. Assuming you're not talking about Richard Dawson or even John.
I'm getting a little distracted. One of the cats is moving.
I know that he just showed us. We don't want. Oh! It's time for grooming.
Okay, so that cat must not be pregnant
But you
anymore.
can't pull up one of these full.
No, they might offer it that way, but right now they've just got the 4-cam.
So Bob is in Silver Springs, Florida. Hey, Bob, I just got done reading an article. Fascinating stuff. The mayor of Coral Gables says the canary in the coal mine for coastal flooding, for rising ocean, like sea change. The canary in the coal mine is going to be all those boats that are inland in canals, parked behind people's, or docked behind people's houses. And if those boats can't clear the bridges to get out to sea,
then we'll have to lift the bridges.
That's going to drive down property values and tax revenues, and that is what's going to turn into a housing crisis, because Florida real estate values are going to crater, because nobody's going to want to live there because you can't get your boat out of the canal to go out to sea.
No one's supposed to be living there anyways. It's a swamp.
You know, it has porous limestone, which makes flooding incredibly easy. James watches from Bettsville, Ohio. I just thought the whole boat thing was fascinating. That's going to be the thing that tips real estate values lower and then people are going to panic sell, and it's going to drive the values even lower, and then there aren't going to be any revenues for like police and fire and utility and all that kind of stuff. And then the whole thing's going to collapse. It won't be like storm surge, or it'll be flooding from within inland when those pumping stations can't keep up. Angela says, "Hi, Amadeo." Okay, from Canton going, bye-bye. I hunt for cat cam. Thanks, and keep up the good work. Okay, Sharon, you take care. Sour Lake, Texas. Why is it named Sour Lake? How does somebody determine, okay, we're going to name this lake Sour Lake?
Sour Lake. Someone tasted it.
Irene Boggs. It's, fascinating to me. Maybe it's because we don't make this necessarily Detroit-centric. It's sort of just web-centric. Why somebody might be watching in Nepal, which they were at one point, or Scotland, or
Tulsa, Oklahoma, Robin Nagney.
You were close, Jason. LOL, I gave the pronunciation up there. Well, I guess I'll have to find it. Andrea Koshara. Oh, Andrea Koshara. Our old friend Andrea Koshara, who is taken to watching every single day. Well, most days. Well, I've seen her before. Andrea Koshara. Yes, sir, LOL. Joyce Shamehorn Halansky. Joyce Halansky?
Oh, yeah, Joyce.
Yeah, we used to play bridge.
Every week.
Oh, I know, and she made a mean old-fashioned.
Yeah.
And the Vienna sausages with the little party tray and the crackers, the Triscuits.
Oh, man.
Joyce Halansky. Nobody entertains like Joyce Halansky.
It's true.
I'm serious. I mean, it's incredible. And it's a good thing that Joyce has plastic on her couches, because remember that one time Murray spilled his bourbon all over?
And Murray is such a klutz.
Murray is a klutz. He's a mean bridge player, though.
Oh, Joyce is correcting us.
Euchre. Okay,
it's
so
euchre.
she was playing euchre. So, and then Murray spilled that bourbon all over it, but she's got the plastic on the divan, which protected it from being stained. That was the most fun night of People's Court on TV and Wheel of Fortune that I can recall.
Now, we're getting some questions about the cats. This is the cat cam at a shelter in Vancouver, outside of Vancouver, and these are feral cats that were pregnant and now have babies, and they take in pregnant cats and help with the delivery and then spay and neuter them. And I believe they re-release. I'm not exactly sure.
Well, now, where is this again?
Just outside of Vancouver.
What is that cat looking at? Oh, maybe lose the banner for a second so we can see the kitten. So how many kittens do we have here?
It looks like 3. Maybe there's more. It's just a whole pile of fur.
Molly says the cat cam is putting her to sleep like watching paint dry. I need more coffee. Maybe we should go back to the Photoshop battle with the squirrel.
What I'm thinking is actually putting up a live stream of paint drying and see how many people will watch that. Huh?
Well, Jesse says the giraffe was more exciting.
Yeah, a little bit more exotic than just, feral cats. Will Ferrell cats.
The Will Ferrell cats. New this week on the Rob Maloney Entertainment Spectacular and Smile Time Variety Hour, the Will Ferrell cats. Cats. What's going on?
Well, court's getting started here in a second, and I think we're going to be live streaming some of it. But
court case, day of court. Well, as fun as this has been on a Monday, hanging out with all of you and making up stories about Joyce, our old euchre buddy, and the unsinkable Molly, keeping her company on her public transport on the way home from the overnight shift in Minnesota. As much fun as all of this has been, cat cam included, I have to go do a TV show on old school over-the-air broadcast TV and also cable and satellite.
all right then.
See you live in the D on Local 4 in 8 minutes.
Stay classy, Detroit. Jason Carr Live was sponsored by the Mike Morris Law Firm, 855 Mike Wins.